Hello, my friends. I miss seeing all of you in person, but are excited that you're able to see my face today. And I can't wait till I can see all of you in person again. But I wanted to begin by having you think about some special hobby or talent you have. Maybe you play a sport, maybe you cook or you sew, or maybe you even have a group that you're a part of. And now think about that thing you enjoy doing and ask yourself, what would you do if someone told you that you had to give up that thing you really, really enjoyed doing? Just drop it all of a sudden. You might be a little sad, right? But what if they told you that by letting go of that one hobby you love, you would be really great at something different? Now, it might be hard to imagine what could be better than your favorite thing, huh? Well, sometimes we lose our favorite thing without much choice. Sometimes we have to let go of things that we enjoy or that we love. But I want to share with you today the number one thing that we should be focused on. And maybe some of you already have an idea of what that might be. It's Jesus. In the Gospel of Mark, Jesus was gathering his group of friends, his disciples. Now, usually a disciple or a student would try to seek out a teacher, but in this case, the teacher was finding his students. Now, some of the learners Jesus chose were fishermen. Jesus came and he found them working, and he told them to follow him. He told them he would make them fish for people. Now that sounds a little strange, doesn't it? We go fishing to catch fish, not people. But guess what the disciples did? They didn't ask Jesus to wait for them to finish out their job. They didn't write a 2 weeks notice. They didn't even question what Jesus might have meant about fishing for people. These guys left their fishing gear, their jobs, and went with Jesus. The Bible actually says they immediately left their nets and followed him. Now, it's likely they had heard about this Jesus guy and knew he was something pretty incredible, someone they'd want to follow. And maybe they weren't even that great of fishermen to begin with. But the point is, they left what they had and they left what they were doing and they went with Jesus. Now, they didn't know every detail of what life would look like. They didn't know this teacher was going to die in a few years, or that almost every one of them would die for their faith in him. But they knew that following Jesus was the most important thing they could do. And they were willing to take that risk to set aside their other priorities, to spend time with him while they could. They knew it was better and more meaningful than anything else that they could do. So, what does that mean for us? Do we have to set aside everything else we might do and not have any hobbies at all if we want to follow Jesus? Nah, not necessarily. People need to have jobs, and it's good for us to pursue activities. But sometimes we might need to make sacrifices. If soccer games are always on Sunday mornings when church happens, you might have to skip a season so you can attend Sunday school. Or if your job wants you to do something that goes against God's rules or hurts your family, you might have to seek out a different job. And maybe your hobby is taking up so much time and attention that it takes the place of prayer and worship. It might be time to set that aside. We need to put Jesus at the top spot in our lives. We need to be willing to let go of some things so that we can serve him wholeheartedly. And you know what, boys and girls? It's worth it. Life with Jesus is better than anything else we can do or even imagine. Following him isn't always easy, but it brings us true joy and peace and everlasting life. Jesus promises to be with us and to provide for us. He uses us to share his love and good news. So trust in him, trust in his word, and be ready to obey and serve him, whatever it might take. It's worth it. So if everybody could fold their hands and bow their heads, we'll say a prayer together. Dear God, thank you for your word, the Bible. Help us to understand and follow it. Help us to follow Jesus even when it's difficult. Thank you for being with us no matter what. Thank you for your love. We love you, God. Thank you for Jesus. In his name, amen. Until next time, boys and girls.